Good news, guys. Word on the street is that the guys at Microsoft have seen it fit to give Microsoft the generative AI chatbot that was put in place to replace Cortana, a much-needed upgrade that is set to boost the virtual assistant's productivity and the way humans and AI interact with one another in the years to come. Copilot Labs. Looking at the upgrades that have been implemented into the AI system, it is also clear that Microsoft's Copilot has been designed to be much more than a tool. This is due to the fact that Microsoft is aware that launching advanced AI models these days takes a lot of time, testing, and a bunch of user feedback as well. As a result, they decided to avoid just rolling out some new features without doing their necessary legwork to make sure this product is the best that it can be. That is why they saw it fit to create Copilot Labs. Looking at it now, some may consider labs to be some sort of incubator that could be used for the testing of experimental tools by the pros in the business before it is released to the public. In a way, you can see that this is how Microsoft is testing their AI models. With this system in place, we can be certain that Copilot may just be the virtual assistant that we all need. Think deeper. Along with the inclusion of Copilot Labs into the Copilot AI model, one of the upgrades included in Copilot was Think Deeper. Think Deeper allows the AI model to deal with the difficult or complex problems that it may come across. Some may not understand the need to do this, especially as it already seemed to deal with standard problems immediately. Dissatisfied, the guys at Microsoft were not happy with the fact that it didn't seem to have the capabilities required to deal with more difficult problems. With that in mind, we may be happy with Think Deeper when we use Copilot, because we'd find that it is able to slow things down well enough for Copilot to come up with the answers to tough questions. It can even give you a step-by-step breakdown for the answers it gives to the user. As such, the user would be able to see that it is perfect for situations where they may need a deeper sort of answer, if you will. For example, users would find that it is competent enough to deal with tasks such as figuring out the logistics of a home renovation project or helping a user come up with a comprehensive business plan. As such, when users get their hands on Copilot, they'd find that Think Deeper is also capable of giving quick answers, even though it does take the extra time needed to make sure that they give the user the most accurate and most detailed answer that is available. As fantastic as this new feature may be, the general public may have to wait for a while before they can use the Think Deeper feature, as it is only available to the Copilot Pro users in 5 countries, that is the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. This is because they would like to do a bit more testing before it is released to the public. With any luck, they will be done with this testing in due time so that the rest of us on the planet can make use of this Think Deeper feature. Copilot Vision. With that in mind, it takes us to one of the major problems that AI systems face even today. We're talking about the fact that even till this day, a good chunk of these AI systems are unable to understand context beyond what is explicitly explained to them. Some believe that the problem lay in the fact that they could process text, but they had no way of seeing the content that you are seeing on the screen. In order to overcome this issue, Microsoft saw fit to add Copilot Vision to this upgrade that we've been raving about for some time now. Although we must mention that it is still in the testing stage, we can be excited about it. This is because when it becomes fully functional, Copilot Vision will allow the AI to understand what the user is interacting with on the screen in real time. Pretty cool, right? As you are working on a website or working on a document on Microsoft Edge, Vision will be able to see the content that you are interacting with. That way, it can make the user's experience a lot better by offering relevant suggestions. Think about it this way. Imagine that you are reading an article and in order to understand what you may be reading, you may need some assistance or more information in order to understand what you may be reading in the article. Thanks to Copilot Vision, which will analyze the page for you, the user can now get the answers straight from the AI system. This is a massive step forward for AI because this means that it is no longer limited to responding only to the things that you type. Rather than relying on this direct form of interaction, Copilot will now go further than most of the other AI systems out there because it can now interpret the broader context of what you are doing. The best thing that we can take from this is that Copilot Vision is entirely optional. What we mean is that the user has a lot of control on when and how to use Vision. This was done in a bit to address whatever privacy concerns that may come up. especially as the AI system would have to process some of the user's information and preferences in order to give them the answers they need. The belief with Copilot is that once the session is over, the data retrieved from the session is permanently deleted, thereby making sure that the user's information is not exploited once they are done using Copilot. Aside from discarding the data that was developed during sessions, users would find that Microsoft had also implemented some other safeguards into this AI system. For example, they have limited the amount of websites that can use this feature. This pre-approved list of websites was put in place so that Copilot would not be able to interact with some sensitive content. This was also done so that it would not overstep its boundaries. Just imagine landing on a website that has a paywall. You'd find that Copilot will not comment or engage with that content. Pretty tight. As great as such a feature may be, users may find that right now, it is only available to a subset of pro users over in the US. Well, this makes sense as it is still in the testing stage. With that in mind, we know that Microsoft is really excited about expanding Copilot Vision so that all the users around the world could enjoy this fantastic feature. Copilot Voice and Copilot Daily. Aside from such experimental features found in Microsoft Labs and some of the other upgrades we just mentioned, users would find that Microsoft also had plans to implement some other upgrades that are guaranteed to improve the user's experience. With such a notion in mind, you'd find that there are two new features in particular that actually stand out. These are Copilot Voice and Copilot Daily. Copilot Voice. Users would find that one of the most common complaints about AI systems is that they could sometimes feel robotic or awkward to interact with. We've all been there. Sometimes these conversations don't feel natural, so much so that we have also noticed the delayed responses that they give off from time to time. Thanks to Copilot Voice, we may find that using Copilot would free us from such awkward interactions. Apparently, the update allows for smoother and more natural conversations. Furthermore, not only are the conversations faster, they seem more natural because the user can interrupt or redirect the course of the conversation without taking it off track. As you can see, this may allow the user to feel like they are interacting with a real person. Copilot Daily. Users could find that they would love this feature because it gives them a daily personalized briefing. It does this by pooling information from sources such as Reuters, the Financial Times, USA Today, and so on, so that it could give you an audio summary of the day's news, weather, and other relevant updates. Looking at it, you may think that it is just a headline service, but that is far from the truth. This is a curated, personalized experience that makes sure it conforms to the user's preferences at all times. Add the fact that Microsoft's partnership with these websites makes sure that the information pooled is reliable, and you'd find that you may not be able to imagine life without it once you get your hands on it. With such a feature and the other features that have been mentioned, users would find that Microsoft Copilot will be able to change the user's experience for some time to come.